Kindly raise your right hand and put your left hand on the Bible. I, please state your name.
I, Susana Mendoza,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the Office of Comptroller
the duties of the Office of Comptroller
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Illinois. Distinguished guests, friends, and family. I see some of my extended family over here. I can't tell you what great of an honor it is to get to share this special moment with you. It's always certainly tough to follow the greatest politician to serve the state of Illinois, the only one who can ever be called the greatest, and that would be Jesse White. I've truly been following him as anybody who calls himself a public servant our entire careers, and the same is true for mine. He is simply the best. I'd like to thank Judge Rosanna Fernandez for swearing me in, and Reverend Donald Meeks for his prayers this morning and always. I'm so incredibly blessed to have been joined by my 83-year-old mother, the original Susana Mendoza, and for the record, the only person who tells me what to do. I want to say thank you so much to my husband, David, the greatest man in the world as far as I'm concerned, my true love, and the greatest unsung hero in my life of public service. Thank you, honey. And my heart is overflowing with pride in knowing that our most perfect creation was that little boy who was supposed to be holding the Bible for his mommy, but as you can tell, is a little bit under the weather. Just a couple days ago, he had 104.3 fever, and he's up here today, so he's a champ as far as I'm concerned. And while, there he is, little ham, and while he may not have done the full diligence of holding up that Bible, he will forever hold my heart. Keep it together. You can't talk about your kid and not lose it. So I just want to say that truly another cool thing about little David is that today is a special day for his mommy, but it's also a special day for his mommy because he lost a front tooth. So yes. But look, these are just constant reminders, my family, of God's love for me and his ability to believe and how important it is to put us on a path to help others. And that is what motivates me every single day when I wake up. And it's what I think about every single night when I go to bed. And when I first ran for controller in the middle of this state's worst fiscal crisis, people asked me, "Are you crazy? Why on God's earth would you want to be controller? The job has never been harder. The state's finances have never been worse off." And I told them, well, that's exactly why I want to be controller. Because when I see a problem, I need to fix it. I can't just sit on the sidelines. Now, I think some of that mindset comes from my parents, Mexican immigrants who did everything they could do to give their kids a better life. And while my dad unfortunately passed away when I was 22 years old, as JB said when he mentioned his parents, he set the value structure in place for me to be here today, making him proud, and I know he's been with me every minute of every moment of my life. Now, it also comes from my son, who's the greatest inspiration I have to solve problems and to try to make things better. That's what we do as parents. And I'm proud of the work that we've been able to do in the Office of Comptroller. Together with the most amazing and the most dedicated staff, thank you to my controllers team. Thank you, guys. I love you so much. We corrected priorities to put put the focus of this state on our most vulnerable populations. We worked with and prioritized small businesses and nonprofits across the state to make sure that they could make their payroll and survive that horrific and unnecessary 736-day budget crisis. We launched a transparency revolution, opening the books up so that you could see for the first time, and I could see for the first time, how many bills the state agencies were actually holding that we could not see before. We discovered that the budget impasse cost taxpayers $1 billion in late payment interest penalties. We will now require governors to show in their budgets how they plan to pay down those interest penalties. We also stopped governors from hiding their staff on state agency payrolls. And we pushed, yes, we pushed the governor to refinance much of our backlog of unpaid bills, which will save taxpayers $4 to $6 billion. We've been very busy. Now, in the weeks and months to come, I will be laying out this year's plans, including a legislative agenda to continue that transparency revolution. The Comptroller's Office will be the best source for numbers and predictive modeling, setting the tone for discussions about state finance and budget, learning from the mistakes of the past to chart the most responsible course forward. The impasse was a dark time for state government, and for the Comptroller's Office in particular. But today, we turn the page on that unfortunate chapter in our state's history. And there's a lesson I want us to carry into what I'm certain will be a brighter future for our state. That lesson is that the morally correct thing to do is most often the fiscally sound one too. We have a lot of work to do. We still face a $7.5 billion backlog of unpaid bills. Social services, higher education, and infrastructure have been left behind in large part. Our state workforce has been beaten down by understaffing and past administrations not honoring contracts with workers. But we will also gather here at a time of great hope. This is so exciting with new faces. Governor J.B. Pritzker, a kind and strong leader. And I say strong because even though he's kind, it's important to recognize that we should never, ever confuse kindness with weakness. I could not have been prouder to have supported the most amazing ticket that I think, ever get to serve with. Juliana Stratton, our Lieutenant Governor, an absolute meteoric rising star. So many little girls, Juliana, are now thinking they will someday not just be Lieutenant Governor, but Governor, and they look just like you. Thank you for that. Our Attorney General, Kwame Raoul, I just got to say that, I'm sorry. He's going to be fantastic, and so many other new members of the House and the Senate, Democrats and Republicans. I look forward to working with all of you. Now, in 2016, my heart was touched that the people of Illinois chose me to serve out the last 2 years of the term that belonged to my dear friend, Judy Bar Topinka. I see Joe Topinka in the audience, and thank you so much, Joe, for being here today. Her son. I tried to carry on in her bipartisan tradition by passing my entire legislative agenda with unanimous or near unanimous bipartisan majorities. I know a path to bipartisan success exists because we've walked it. Now, Illinois must reinvest in our schools and universities, tackle our pension problems, and recruit and retain businesses from Chicago to Cairo. We're not just budgeting and making policies for this year. We're building for the next generation because we want our kids and our grandkids to stay here, to prosper here, to be proud of Illinois, and we have the ability to make sure that those next generations have greater opportunities than even we have. Make no mistake about it, Illinoisans, this is the greatest state. We get to live here. Don't even think about moving anywhere else. This is where you want to be. This is it. The weather only weeds out the people who don't deserve to live here. And the greatest thing about Illinois is its people. You are truly this state's greatest resource, and I am so blessed and honored to get to represent you when it comes to our finances and when it comes to setting a moral compass that puts people first. Together, no matter what our challenges may be, there is nothing that we can't do. I'm excited to know that our best days are yet to come and that today we start anew. Thank you so much. God bless you. May He keep you. May He protect us all. May He bless our state. May He bless our country. And may He continue to keep us in His hands and in His prayers. And most importantly, guide us to always put the people that we represent first and foremost. Thank you so much. God bless.